And you're on.
All right. Late night from Willowdale, and we're not really in Willowdale anymore. We're a couple kilometers south at St. Clair and Spadina. Okay, let's talk about Canada today, very briefly. I think it's worth video. Too much chest thumping, and you know, I think Canadians should be proud of the country they have. Open immigration, open to trade, open to the world. But yeah, I get a little tired of the chest thumping. I think the best thing about Canada is we don't chest thump, and I was a little unnerved by this weekend. I know it was a bit under the key. The best thing about Canada Day in Toronto was that rubber duck. I think that was great. It was so quirky and weird, and I thought that represented Canada. Quirky and weird. The thing on Parliament Hill, like I just got and it was a disaster anyways because of the rain. But I, you know, I get tired about hearing about how great we are. Canada is a good country, but let's not chest thump about it because there are lots of problems here. Lots of poverty, lots of inequality, and as much as Justin Bieber Trudeau, and I call him Justin Bieber Trudeau because I don't think he's really done much. He goes on and on and on about all the how many times are you tired of hearing about bringing, the middle class? The middle class have to have the middle class. We have to, and the people struggling to get into the middle class. That's his line. Struggling to get into the middle class. Justin Trudeau doesn't give a damn about low-income people or poor people or even the so-called middle class. What a stupid cliche phrase. Justin Trudeau is a kid of privilege. He was born into wealth. He wears suits that are the suits that Justin Trudeau wears are probably worth $30,000-$40,000. Like, he doesn't give a damn about low income people or poor people. I met him once a number of years ago in Toronto when he was just the newly minted Liberal leader, and he looked at me like I was because I had I'm kind of an unkept kind of guy, kind of a goofy sort of guy. He looked at me like I was a piece of crap. Like, how dare you even intercede in my like. Oh, God. Justin Trudeau is a fraud, okay? Justin Bieber Trudeau. I call him Justin Bieber because he's so flaky and stupid. He's a fraud. And I'm so tired of being, as a Canadian, being branded by Justin Bieber Trudeau. Like, there are lots of problems in this country, and he has all of a sudden become this international superstar, this fashionista, Vogue magazine. The New York Times every day writes nice pieces about Justin Trudeau. Like, even the style section of today's New York Times is going on about his socks, whether they're socks for Pride or socks for Ramadan or, oh God, like, and yet nothing gets done in this country. All these, let's face it, all these inquiries into the problems of Indigenous people, whether it's the missing women or Truth and Reconciliation, nothing comes out of it. And all the hundreds of millions of dollars are spent on these inquiries and nothing comes out of it. Indigenous people in Canada still have no drinking water, don't have decent living conditions. They're still, like, come on. You know what? Get rid of all these stupid inquiries and all this crap. Let's just put money into making sure Indigenous communities in Canada have fresh drinking water and decent living conditions. I mean, it's what kind of Justin Trudeau to me represents the essence of Canada these days. He's a fraud. He's a bloody fraud, and Canada in many ways is a bit of a fraud. Oh, don't get me wrong, it's a better country than most, but it's still a bit of a fraud. I think the Guardian in Britain, the Guardian newspaper, basically said it. That Justin Trudeau's a fraud. It's all about branding and how gorgeous he is, and he's got his gorgeous wife and all that. But he's really no different than Donald Trump and Melania Trump. I mean, they're all frauds. And the fact that he's branded himself as progressive and he cares about all these things, Justin Trudeau cares nothing. He cares only about himself. And the international media loves him. And But really, he hasn't made the lives of most Canadians any better. Just like the mayor of Toronto, John Tory, who's his boyfriend, hasn't made the lives of Torontonians any better. The transit's still crap. I mean, still you still wait 20 minutes for a streetcar, and I mean nothing really changes. But these guys it's all fraudulent, and this is why people get cynical about politics. Like, it's when you make incremental changes in people's lives that help people, not the photo ops and any of that stuff that help people. When Justin Bieber Trudeau's government eliminated the tax credit for transit passes, that affected a lot of people. They didn't care. Bill Morneau, the Minister of Finance, who represents the downtown Toronto riding, didn't care. These affect people's lives. It's small things. When Justin Bieber Trudeau talks about the middle class and helping low income people, he doesn't really give a damn. It's a throwaway line, I mean, he's no different when Donald Trump says he's going to bring back coal jobs and bring back all these jobs. They're all lies, and this is what makes people cynical about politics. Justin Bieber Trudeau has a shelf life, probably more so than Donald Trump, because he's given Canada this international image of being cool. And like I said, the New York Times, every day there's all these great stories about Canada, and it's kind of like, okay, New York Times, you need to get a life here. Like, Canada's not that great a place. It's better than most, but it's not that great. There's, on the 150th anniversary of Canada's birth, Canada's not a bad place. Yes, open immigration. I was on an overcrowded subway car last night, and I was the only white guy in the subway car. Okay, there were people from all over the planet Earth, brown, black, Oriental, whatever, all carrying little Canada flags, and I think, okay, that's cool. That's a good thing, and that's a good thing. And one thing about the Trudeau government, they have promised to, they have done a lot in immigration and increasing the levels, and that's a good thing. But there's a lot of poverty in this country and a lot of inequality, and just like Donald Trump, Justin Bieber Trudeau hasn't done anything about it, and he won't do anything about it because he really doesn't care. He's all about branding and making Canada cool, and the indigenous. Like I said, the classicest thing was the indigenous peoples. The lives of indigenous peoples have not improved under Justin Bieber Trudeau. Okay. And you can spend hundreds of millions of dollars in inquiries and stuff, but that's not going to. They still have fresh drinking water in a lot of these communities. They still don't have basic infrastructure. It's what you get done for people that matters. Okay, so John Tory in Toronto has done nothing for Torontonians. He's like Justin Bieber Trudeau. He likes to go to all the photo ops. But the transit is still a joke, and the lineups to get on streetcars, because you have to wait 20 minutes for a streetcar. Subways are overcrowded. He's done nothing because he doesn't really care. He's a multimillionaire who worked for Rogers. Justin Bieber Trudeau doesn't care. He's a multimillionaire. In the U.S., Donald Trump doesn't care because he never cared about anyone anyways. He's spent his whole life screwing people over. So people become cynical about politics. And I don't know where I'm going with this video, but on Canada Day, I just become I'm not happy. I'm just cynical. And I saw all the millions of dollars going into this Parliament Hill fiasco. And I just thought, Jesus. And what does Bono have to do with Canada? Bono, Boner, Bonner, Bono. Like,
Well, as much as the duck, right?
yeah, as much as the bloody duck. At least the duck is interesting. Boner, Bono is not interesting. God, like, Jesus. I think this whole 150th thing is a joke. And, you know, it would have been perfectly Canadian not to have any celebration. You know, let's just improve people's lives, okay? Get better transit, get better social programs for people. Stop talking about the middle class and all this crap with Justin Bieber, who doesn't give a damn about. He just wants to hang out with Obama in fancy Montreal restaurants, and let's just improve people's lives. You know, like, the bottom line is, I'm rambled on because I'm a little drunky, but yeah, I don't need fireworks. I don't need to be told how great Canada is. I don't want the New York Times running hundreds of stories about how great Canada is, because Canada is not that great. It's better than most, but it's not that great. A lot of people live in poverty in this country, and Indigenous people's lives haven't been improved at all under Justin Bieber Trudeau. And he can go visit as many teepees on Parliament Hill as he wants. People's lives are still crap. He's not doing anything. He just loves to be in Vogue or in the style section of the New York Times, and he loves to be on CNN. And the guy's a joke. And please bring back Stephen Harper. Like, at least Stephen Harper wasn't into all that, you know. And Stephen Harper wasn't great. But I'll take him over this fraud, Justin Bieber, Trudeau, and in the city of Toronto, of course, Rob Ford was a far better mayor than this cable guy, John Bieber Trudeau, John Tory, who's done nothing for making people in Toronto's lives any better. You know, the one person that actually tried to make people's lives better was Kathleen Wynne. And they write her off now, but she actually has any transit improvements we have in Toronto because of the Liberals in Ontario. Everyone writes them off, of course, but she actually has made a difference in people's lives. And of course, people have written her off. That's another video. But yeah, Justin Bieber Trudeau is a fraud. The world loves him, but as a Canadian, I frankly think he's a disgrace. And I don't stop chest thumping Canada. There's lots of problems here, and the best 150th anniversary we could ever do is just stop the chest thumping and stop the fireworks. And let's get on with the business of building a better place. And it is a better place than most. Yeah, I get a little tired of this chest thumping, and I don't want to be like all other countries that do that. And in many ways, I do think that Trudeau is no different than Donald Trump. And let's not have a superiority complex in this country, because yeah, it's a better place than most, but we have lots of problems here. And the election of Trudeau in 2015 hasn't helped a lot of people. And it certainly hasn't helped Indigenous people. A lot of talk. He hasn't walked the walk. And he's too busy appearing in the style section of the New York Times to give a damn about anybody. And yeah. And I just thought about this when Clea and I were waiting 20 minutes for a streetcar in Toronto, 20 minutes, which is ridiculous at rush hour, to go down to see the stupid duck on Toronto's waterfront. And because that to me symbolized the whole thing. A stupid duck made by the Dutch appears on Toronto's waterfront, and to me that symbolized the whole stupidity of the whole thing. And it took us a long time. We could have flown to Winnipeg quicker than it took us to go 3 kilometers on a Toronto streetcar. Like, the whole thing, the transit system in Toronto is a joke, and we have so many more things to focus on. And I'm tired of Justin Bieber Trudeau talking about the middle class and people struggling to get in the middle class because he doesn't give a damn about anybody. He just likes to wear his Tom Ford suits and show off his socks to the New York Times and to Angela Merkel or whatever. The guy's a bloody fraud, And let's stop adoring him. And please, the international media, stop adoring him. He's a rich, spoiled little kid who, for some bizarre reason, just like Donald Trump, made it to the top job. They're very similar, actually. Maybe that's why they love each other so much. On that note, that's my Canada Day message. Canada, get over yourselves. There's a lot of work to do in this country, and stop the chest thumping.
Okay.
You know, I don't even have to read it. Watch it tomorrow. I think I went on. I was kind of rambling.
Okay.